My dear friends, my dear masters and my dear gods, great good afternoon to all of you. The Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement has been established by the great enlightened master Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji. He has been vehemently advocating that the humanity needs the knowledge of spiritual science. In fact, he used to address every gathering by the same terms, my dear friends, my dear masters and my dear gods. That goes to show, and he intends that everybody becomes a friend for others. There is only friendship in this universe. There is no enmity. That is the message that he wants to convey. And then he used to say, my dear masters. We should understand that we are all masters. We are not servants of anybody. We are bosses for ourselves. At the same time, we are not the boss for others. Very categorically he was telling. So you should depend upon yourself for all your activities. And you should stand on your own legs. That is what that message, he used to give to every person. In every discourses he used to say like that. A wonderful teaching, even without teaching. And third factor, he was mentioning that you are all gods. See, that is the truth of the truths. Every one of us is in fact having the spark of consciousness in us, which is termed as God by the common man. So, my dear masters, the spiritual science is so important that every one of us has to learn. And that is the first science every one of us should learn also. And it's a must. There is no exception. But unfortunately, as on today, people do not have perception of what is spiritual science, what spiritual science is. Many people, they give no seriousness at all. They think, okay, we know spiritual science. Okay, sir, fine, we'll do it. And when once they are countered again, are you doing any meditation or any spiritual practices? The answer comes immediately, yes sir, we know. But in practice, it doesn't find any kind of practical truth. So this is the scenario as on today. A very cheap view on the spiritual science, what we see in the present days in our society. But in fact, without spiritual science, without spirituality, one cannot be happy at all. A great saint, Hazrat Inayat Khan, he was professing that nobody on this earth planet is happy because they are not aware of spiritual knowledge. Spirituality is not known to them. So this is how we know we are placed in the current circumstances. In fact, as he said, there is nobody who is happy. And people do not know why they are not happy. And when once great philosophers who have understood spiritual science, who have understood themselves, and they profess and they advocate so many things, and they have written all their experiences in their scriptures, but unfortunately we listen and forget. And then mostly we don't read also their writings. So this is where we are lacking the important science in our daily life. In fact, spiritual science is the mother of all sciences. For everything comes out of this. Every man is spiritual because he is having the energy system in his body. That's how he has got locomotion. That's how he is able to think, speak and do things. But we are not realizing that. We are only encouraging all kinds of executions on physicalities. Materialistic world has grown up so much that everybody is interested to reach the space, to reach the moon. That is fine. The science and technology has grown heaps and bounds. We are very proud of that. But at the same time, my dear masters, we are unable to control our own anger, our own noble values. We are not able to tolerate anybody. We are only encouraging all kinds of violence. There is a lot of unrest in society. Why and how it happened? There is a lot of violence on domestic front also. The same family members, they are not happy together. They fight among themselves without any kind of meaning, without any kind of worth, the action what they are doing. They don't have love, they don't have friendship, but all are very, very, very experts in their materialistic world. They are all holding high positions. They are all earning lot of money. It is happening. Who is to blame now? Are they not educated? Then why are they creating lot of violence in their own houses? The reasons are plenty of, and of course, one of the reasons could be that they are not taught in their schools right at the earlier tender age of their child days. In schools, they are not given this information. They are not being taught about the spiritual values. They don't know what is non-violence. They do not know what is happiness. They don't know how to be kind enough. Anybody has taught all of us what is kindness? What is friendship? Any subject is there? In any of the academics what we are going to educate ourselves? We are very eager to send our children for this kind of education, where only money making is being taught. All the efforts, all educations are only focusing earning money, job-oriented courses. Wherever you go, what is that your boy is doing? How much he is earning? What is he doing? A man who has to marry their daughters, they are inquiring about the boy, how much he is earning. But they are not mindful of what kind of person he is, whether he is a good person, whether he is kind enough, whether he is able to bear the burden of the life, whether he is capable of understanding their fellow beings. These things nobody is bothering about. We are only just moving around the materialistic world. My dear masters, we have to understand that materialistic world is also very, very important. Your education is very, very important. You have to earn money. Nobody disagrees that these are not important. They are all important. 100% they are important. But the tragedy is that, the minus point is that there is only one way is there. Only getting educated in the physical plane, on domestic fronts and everywhere, and earn fame, name, money, properties. Okay, this is fine. How he is behaving, how his conduct is there. The spiritual values we are not adopting. We are not studying them. Unless they are studied, nobody can stick to that. Even any number of advocacies, any number of warnings, any number of advices will be only just listened to and left out. So we have to learn things for ourselves. We have to understand what the human values are, what spiritual values are, what are ethics, and how we have to conduct ourselves with the people around us, in the family, in the market, and in the public, how to conduct our own behavior, daily activities. My dear masters, though we have achieved proficiency in our academics with all kinds of degrees like doctorates and all those things, the same people, if they misbehave with somebody or if they speak something wrong, can you say that they are all good? So, we need to be good also. We need to be noble also. We need to be wise also. We need to be understanding also. These are all the values are embedded in spiritual science. In such a scenario, the spiritual science or spirituality will play its own role very prominently. They will maintain the personality in a very, very, very understanding way, making a man very noble, kind-hearted, wise enough. So this is all what is required. To counter the violence, we have to educate in spiritual science. We have to discourage the violence in the society by uplifting the spiritual knowledge. We have to take step very urgently to develop spiritual knowledge, to propagate spiritual science, in order to curb violence in the house, in the market, in the office, anywhere, wherever we go. We have to be very, very polite. We have to conduct ourselves in a noble way. What is noble way? Being friendly, being a loving personality. You should love your own people. My dear masters, as on today, we are not able to live our own people. We are not able to love our own people. For time and again, people grow angry with their own people. Just because the spiritual knowledge is very much lacking there. So, Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji has dedicated his life only to see that everyone should also be equipped with the spiritual knowledge. They must become meditators. They must enjoy the life. They must live happily with smiling faces. This is the target of the spiritual science. So, my dear masters, there is lot of effort is there to spread meditation, which is the gateway of spiritual science. My dear friends, if we are in the habit of practicing meditation, one of the greatest practices in the spiritual lore is the meditation. Meditation makes the mind very calm and quiet. It will imbibe, it will induct, it will inculcate a kind-heartedness in you, noble values in you, high tolerance capacities in you. See? And it makes you a worthy man to live with in this physical world. So, my dear masters, nobility, ability of bearing the burden of this physical world to live with your own colleagues and with the people around you. And there should be capability sufficiently with you. Capability is to handle the physical world with the people around you in a very, very, very just manner. And these qualities of nobility, ability and capabilities are contained in the academics of spiritual science. This is where humanity requires very much the spiritual knowledge, in addition to the physical knowledge, in addition to the physical education. The spiritual education is also very, very important, and both sciences are very important for all of us to live in this world. One way we have to be very, very efficient in materialistic world, and the other way we should handle the physical world in a very, very decent way without giving scope to violence. We will be able to control our emotions. We will be able to control our inner enemies like kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, macharyas. That is anger, jealousy, and greediness. So many things which we have got 6 enemies in us. You know it, isn't it? So all these enemies will get out the moment you are vigilant, the moment you are understanding the spiritual knowledge. So, my dear friends, the importance of spiritual knowledge or spiritual science or spirituality is something related with the spirit which we are owning in our own physical body. The spirit is nowhere, somewhere, but it is in our own self. So, the spiritual knowledge, which is nothing but a knowledge of the spirit which is in us, that is knowing ourselves, is very, very important, and that is a must for all of us. So, with this point I am stressing, so this is the message of the PSSM, and we have a PSSA, Pyramid Spiritual Science Academy, a wing shoot out of that mega Pyramid Spiritual Societies movement. And the target of this academy is also to spread meditation and spiritual science among all of us across the globe. Okay, with this, I conclude my talk. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you.